What's up YouTube, Gail Check This Gadget, coming to you with a video tell you why I'm going to be returning my Fold 2 because I found a Fold 1. However, and we'll get to that however towards the middle of the video. So when the Fold 1 originally came out, I saw it, I thought, oh, that's cool, that'd be cool to have. Then they told me that price and I was like, that's too high, can't afford that. And I kind of just, blocked it out of my mind. It wasn't until these past few months where I actually started to think about the Fold 2 again, because I was considering upgrading my Samsung device. I had the Note 10 Plus, and I had tried out the S20, and I was just thinking about which direction I want to go or whatever. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, it's coming up on that year mark. The Fold 2 is going to come out. I think that might be a good phone for me because I want an 8-inch Android tablet, right? So I have my mini. I love this tablet because it's small. I use this tablet a lot. I use it a lot. But I got to the point where I wanted an Android version of the 8-inch tablet. A good 8-inch Android version, right? Because I wanted to use widgets and stuff. Like before iOS 14 type widgets. Which, I don't even know if you can't even use the widgets like how you can use on an iPhone on the iPads. But anyway, I wanted an Android version, but 8 inches, right? I had my large Android, but I wanted a small. And the only closest thing I can come to is this Samsung Tab A S Pen model. Now this is the S Pen model, which you can't get this model at they don't sell this one in the United States. It's the international model. And I typically don't use this S when I use the one from my my Tab S4. But I like that this one had the ability to do the S Pen. So it made me feel, it might not be that high power, but at least I can take notes on it. So this was the closest thing I was able to get to when it comes to an 8-inch Android tablet. The last powerful 8-inch tablet that they had, I would say, would pretty much be the Tab S 8.4 inch, which I have one of those, but it just does not work very well at this point. It's very glitchy. It's like you get down to a certain percentage, it just starts acting up. So I was thinking, as I'm thinking about doing my upgrade and whatever, I was like, the Fold, now the Folds come back in my head, like that can solve my problems or what I want to do, because it gives me big enough, I can get that tablet experience, and then I also can get that experience of how I use my regular phones, except that I have a bigger space. So it kind of, solved some things for me. And so I knew it was coming up on the year mark, so I had already got in my mind to start gearing up to get the Fold 2. And then about a month ago, I was able to finally see the Fold 1 in person at the Best Buy store, and I was able to, that was the first time I had saw it in person, was able to actually experience it, actually fold it, touch it, and experience it. And that's when I was sold. At that point, I was like, this is what I need, and it fits into what I want to do perfectly. So that's how we got the Fold 2 here. And I actually got some discounts with this one. Of course, we know the Fold 2 retails at $2,000. After taxes for me, my total was $1,900 and $902.61. So we can just say $1,900. So, and how I was able to get mine down to $1,900 after taxes was with the educational discount. And then I also did the trick where you act like you're going to cancel, and Samsung will give you 10% back, which in this case is $100. And then that's how I got to $1,902. And they don't like charge you $1,902. They charge you the full amount, then they just give you $100 back. They actually don't even pay the taxes back on that $100, which is interesting to me. But they just give you $100 back to your account. So I didn't do an unboxing of this video. I just wanted to, of this phone, I just wanted to, just experience it for myself. And it wasn't too much in that. You didn't miss nothing. All they included was the charger. At least with this one, the first one, they included a case. They included the little adapter to go from regular USB to USB-C. And they also included the wireless buds, which I thought was great. In this one, all you get is the charger. I feel like if you wasn't going to include any earbuds, they could at least include some earbuds, the wired ones. Or I would have even been happy if they at least included the case like how they did on that one. They included nothing but a charger. And I feel like for that much amount of money, you guys got to bring something more to the unboxing experience besides just a charger. So got this phone on Wednesday, and I had this phone. I opened this phone Wednesday evening, and I had this phone Friday morning. And let's talk about how we got to that point. As you have saw, if you've been looking at some other videos, you probably have saw some YouTube reviewers and YouTube people talking about their phone, that while this phone is gorgeous, which it is, it's lovely, everything, beautiful phone, is they're talking about how it's expensive, and you have this, which we already know, that's a given, but I guess because of the expensiveness, you feel like you have to be careful with it, right? And it makes you be a little more careful than you, I guess, normally probably would with a phone. Now, I understand that being careful, because with all my Note phones, I was always careful, because the Note phones in the past, the Note phones used to always be the most expensive Samsung phone. And when you get it, you just want to feel, be careful with it. But after a while, you kind of, get rid of that. And that could possibly be the case with this too. After a while, you might feel comfortable, and that might get out your head. But it might not. I think a big part plays into that, of this be careful thing, is as soon as you open a box, the plastic on there that you have to unwrap before you use the phone, you can see your phone, has all these warnings. It's like 5 to 6 warnings before you can even get to see the beautiful phone that you have to look at. And then as you're going through the device and setting it up, they have another screen that pops up with those same warnings. So you have, before you can even get all the way to your home screen of this phone, you have saw the warnings twice. And so I think that plays a part in the psyche of you having to be careful with the phone. There's already an expensive phone. You already spent a lot of money on it. And then you have, Samsung has already warned you twice before you can even get to your home screen. It's going to want to make you want to be careful with the phone. And so I'm thinking, well, even though I'm primarily going to be using this at home, I do want to take this out, because the reason I like this over something like my iPad is I can fold this up, and it fits in my purse easily. Whereas I would have to have a medium-sized purse or the right type of bag to make this fit. Whereas I can throw this in my purse easily. Even in my most little small pouch, my little pouch that I use the most, I can't fit this in my small pouch, but I was able to fit this in a pretty narrow pouch. So that's the difference of why you want this phone. But then you think about, okay, is it durable enough to take it on the go and stuff? And like I've watched other videos, I think the phone is durable, but I think initially you have that feeling of, do you have to be careful with it? And so I decided to look to see if there was some fold ones on Craigslist. And there was this one. The time before that I had looked, it was only like one, and I think they wanted either 13, 14, or 15. It was something too high, and I was like, I'm not spending that much money on a used device, right? That's a lot of money for a used device. And then it's still a Gen 1, and it had the folding. So you never know how people use the device. You never know. And then I had already saw a bunch of reviews about people talking about this one having after a while, a creaking noise and stuff like that. So I wasn't spending that much money. And so I checked, and I looked back, and I saw somebody had theirs up there for $825. Long story short, I met up with them, and I got the phone from them. They had the full box. Only thing that was missing out the box, he had the earbuds, never used the earbuds. Everything looked new. Only thing that was missing out the box was the extra earbud tips for the earbuds, and then that little adapter from the regular USB port to USB-C, which I already have a couple of those already around the house, so that wasn't a big deal. Other than that, he had the bumper cable. Everything else was nicely presented. On the phone, it's some micro scratches. You can see a little bit. You can't see when the phone is on, but in this area down here, there were 2 straight scratches, and you can only see it when it's on a white screen, and you have to look at it at an angle. You have to hit it at the right angle to see it. Other than that, on the black screen, you can't see it, and I'm primarily going to be using this in dark mode. So I tried to get him talked down on the price a little bit, but he wouldn't. He was at $820. He had listed at $825. I gave him $800, and he had it on Craigslist for higher than that. So he wasn't like trying to budge on the price. And I was at this point, I was like, this works to my plan. So I just went ahead and got it because no one else had a fold up there, and I didn't know if anybody else had a fold, so I went ahead and took it. But this is a great device. For me, these are the factors of why we came here. $1,900 is still a lot of money, and I paid for retail. I didn't finance this device. I paid for paid for it all the way up front. And I even thought about possibly selling this to compensate for this, but we'll get to that in just a second. So for me, the device is great. I knew I wasn't gonna, this of course has the bigger screen on the front, right? But I knew I wasn't going to be using the front screen like that much. When I started using the phone at first, I didn't like the front screen. I guess because it's so narrow, it just takes some getting used to. I'm a little more used to it now. Yesterday I was using the calculator on it, so I'll probably do stuff like that. But primarily what I would be using for phone for is the inside, right? And so when we open the phone and go to the inside, I get the same effect as far as having that square shaping, right? This part here, this little camera section, that doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't bother me at all. This screen is bigger and it's beautiful. It looks brighter. I'm not sure. It just looks slightly better. It is bigger. This is 7.6 versus 7.3. I think I got those numbers right. And if you can see that it is wider. You can see that clearly there. But for the most part, everything, you get the same experience. It doesn't really matter. It's just all the other stuff. So that's why I was like, I can go to the Fold 1. I can still get my same experience and save a whole lot of money, right? Because for me, I'm not using this phone as my main phone, right? I'm not using this phone as my main phone. I'm just using it as a secondary device at this point. So I still have my Note 20 Ultra, and I have the tablets, as you can see. I have several devices, and then I still will have my iPhone as my main device. So it's not like, and I even have the Duo right now, which I don't know if I'm gonna keep the Duo. We'll get into that in a different video. But even with my Note 20 Ultra, so let me open this back up here. Let me grab my Note 20 Ultra. So I have my Note 20 Ultra here. As you can see, if I was to, the Note 20 Ultra takes up a nice amount of the screen. Height-wise, you're getting the same height, and you get a lot of the same amount of the screen. It's just, you get wider on there. So I have other devices to compensate, whereas some other people might not. So that also plays a part, right? So that plays a part into the decision making. And so, like I was saying, I had even thought about, okay, maybe I can sell this one for a little high, because I got it at $800, which I think was a good deal. I can sell this one and put that money towards that. So let's say I sell this at $1,100, I get a $300 profit. Let me show you how that breaks down in the money wise, right? So I paid $1,902 for my Fold 2. Let's say I sell the Fold 1 for $1,100. I'm still at a difference of $802, right? Still at a difference of $802. For that $802, I could be able to get the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, the 256 gig model, the keyboard, the official Samsung keyboard for the Tab S7 Plus, and some Galaxy Buds Live, all for $787.93. That is, just for a disclaimer, that does include a $300 trade-in I'm getting on my Tab S4. But basically, after that was my total price from Samsung for those 3 items. I can still get that and still have $14.68 left over. I can still have some money left over to go get some food at a little regular restaurant. That's how that breaks down. That's how expensive this device is, right? For the price of this device, I was able to get the original Fold 1, the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus 256 model, the keyboard, and the Galaxy Buds Live. I was able to get 4 things for the price of 1. And that's why it only makes sense that I return it. For me, it only makes sense that I do return it. But let me tell you why, some reasons why you might want to keep it. I'm just telling you the reason why I'm returning it. And that's only because I was able to find a Fold 1. If I couldn't have found the Fold 1, would I keep the Fold 2? Yes. Honestly, I would. And let me tell you why. I would keep it, but I would have to sell some other stuff. So I would be keeping it, but I would have to find a way to be affordable to keep it, which means I would have to sell some of my other stuff, which I'm already going to be selling some other stuff anyway, but I would definitely be a little more aggressive and have to sell something I really probably didn't want to sell to make up for how high this device is. Some main reasons why you might want to keep this phone is if you're going to be using it as your main phone. I could definitely see keeping this phone if you're not going to be using it as a secondary and it's your main phone. Definitely. 2, if you had a trade-in to get this phone and it brought the price down to like $1,400, by all means, I think that's a decent deal. That's a good reason to keep it. If you're not planning to baby the phone, I think right now it's fresh, it's new, I think we do that all with new devices, but over time I think people probably won't baby it as much. And this hinge is amazing, right? The hinge is great on this. It's totally flat. Some people were talking about this hinge on this phone, and I will admit, when I first got the phone, it was not, it looks pretty flat now, but first it wasn't laying all the way flat, and you can feel it. But I saw some Reddit posts, and the person made a post about like leaving your phone flat overnight and how that helps with the overall, durability or whatever. And I was like, man, that's crazy. But I did try it on this one because, like I said, when I first got it, wasn't laying. Like you can feel it bend in the back. And this morning, I must say, it does feel better for my first one. But I don't think that will matter on the Fold 2 because of how they built it. You can see flat and you can feel the difference. This feels nice and secure for sure. Build quality feels very, very nice on this one. That brings us to another point. I don't think I had brought up the weight when I was talking about reasons why I was looking for that one. Look for the other phone there. When this phone is closed, it's you can feel that weight, right? You can feel that weight. This one feels a little lighter, but you can definitely feel the weight when you have this phone closed. And that was another thing between it being expensive and feeling that weight. Even though I won't be using it that much in this setting and having it, when I do use it in this setting, it'd probably be flat on a table or on the bed. You can still feel it. So between that, the expensive durability. So back to my reasons why, you could keep the phone. If you're going to be using it as a main phone, if you had a good trade-in value and it brought the overall cost that you got to pay out of pocket to like $1,400 or below, that's good. If you're not going to plan to baby the phone, which I think after some time you'll get used to the phone and you won't baby it as much. And when cases of stuff come out, maybe that'll help with that. That's the reason to keep the phone. And then the last one is if you have the money to, honestly. If you got the money to get it, why not have the newest, the best thing out? And then, of course, you can get financing on this phone, so that helps. Now, for me, I can get financing through T-Mobile, but I would have to pay. And they just came out with the phone. Like, T-Mobile didn't have it on their website until this phone actually released. And so I could get financing through it. However, they want $600 plus tax down, and then it'll be 24 months. I think it's like, I can't remember what. I think it's definitely over the $50 mark. I think it's like $58 a month. However, the thing was, remember earlier I told you how I got all those discounts. So my total, we look on Samsung website, the way they wrote the total was $1,749 versus $1,999. So I'm saving a couple hundred getting it through Samsung. And even if I was to finance it, whereas that might would help with the cost because I don't have to, put so much money up front and whatnot. I still look at the overall cost because at the end of the day, you are going to pay it off unless you want to, mess up your credit. You are going to pay it off. And overall, I would pay more financing it through T-Mobile than I would just buying it outright through Samsung. In an ideal situation, I would have financed it through Samsung, but they didn't approve me. And I can honestly say, if I would have got approved through Samsung financing and was able, and so I can keep my discounts and everything, would I have went looking for the Fold 1? Probably not, because I didn't have that upfront hole in my pocket, right? Right now I have a $19 hole in my pocket, and having a phone and thinking about being careful with it, it makes you think. So that plays a huge factor into it. I must say, it's a huge factor when you pay outright and you already spend all the money, versus if you're financing, you don't feel that hit right away. Even with financing, depending on how you finance it, if you don't have to put any money down, you're definitely not gonna feel that hit. But if you do have to put, like with T-Mobile, if they had to put $600 down, then you still gotta be making $58 payments. Like, you'll feel that too. So it's just a matter of preference when it comes to the financing versus paying the full price. Some people, you pay full price when you sell your phone, you get that money, you can just apply it to a new device. Whereas if you finance a phone and then you sell that phone, you can't really apply to a new device because you need to pay off your old phone. So that money is technically just going to go to paying off your old phone. So it depends on, and some people could look at that like they only, they didn't have to put any money down. So they're not like really losing money. They're just paying the money that they use the device, but they're not like, losing money or their money's being held. And, because when they sell the phone, they just pay off the balance and then move on to a new phone. It just, how you look at it, how it works for you. But those are some reasons why I would say you can keep the phone. And I'm going to do a separate video on my thoughts and why I think it's a decent phone, a good phone, a great phone. But, it is an expensive phone at the end of the day. Very expensive phone. And so I would say, in quick summary, I know this video is long, but in quick summary, if this is going to be a secondary device and it's not your main device, if you can find a Fold 1 that's decent, why not? And pay less money. If you're not going to be using the front screen, that front screen's not that important to you, you're primarily going to be using the inside screen. Why not get a Fold? You can get the Fold 1, get the same experience and spend way less money versus spending all that money and it's not even your main phone. Especially me, like I have my iPhone's my main phone, and then I usually have another Android phone, which in this case right now is the Note Ultra, which I probably will keep because I got a free watch with it, so I probably will keep that Note Ultra. And then I got the Samsung, I got the Surface Duo too. That was another factor. I have the Surface Duo. Like, having the Surface Duo and this is just too much money. Even though I'm financing this device and I've already paid for this one, it's too much money. It's too much. I have a Note Ultra, even though that's being financed too. Still, it's all too much money, especially in this time where Corona, so many people are unemployed, lost their jobs, and I was affected by that also. I took the money out of my savings account to get this device. I still got my money. I got money saved, so it's not like hurting me or anything like that. And don't let people make you feel bad if you buy a $2,000 phone or whatever. At the end of the day, I feel like this, or this expensive phone. I feel like this. If you go to work for your money, you go to work. You don't want to have to deal with your coworkers and going to work and customers and stuff. You deserve to buy things. As long as you're not putting yourself in a strain, you have money in your savings account to cover emergencies. Your credit cards are decent. They're not out of control or anything. You're not going to extreme debt or anything. It's not affecting anybody else, and your bills are paid on time. If you want to spend money and spend money on a nice phone, don't let anybody make you feel bad about that. Think about it. These are computers in our hands. We use our phones every day. Every day we use our phones. So don't let anybody make you feel bad for spending so much money on a phone, especially if you're going to be using it every day, all day, like I do. So, but this also goes into a factor of the fact that I have, let me move the Fold 1 out of here, the fact that I have a Fold 2, I have a Surface Duo, right? This is too much money right there. Then the factor in I have the Note. This is too much money. Then the factor in I also have the iPad, right? Like, and then I have a bunch of other tablets, but like, we think this is too much money. All this together that's too much money, right? And so I need to cut back somewhere. And that's where the Fold 1 comes in. And that's why I will be sending my Fold 2 back, keeping my Fold 1. I will probably keep my Ultra. iPad mini's not going anywhere. I still got to get the new iPhone that's coming out. Only thing I'm still trying to make a decision on is the Surface Duo. And we'll be doing a video. I'll be having a video about talking about these two and the Surface Duo on a separate video. But those are what you got to think about. So it varies. Most people are not like me. First of all, most people are not like me. I'm a tech person, so most people are not going to have all these devices. But it's very realistic that a lot of people have these two devices, right? A lot of people have these two devices saying, should I sell this to get this? Quick video on that. Quick thought on that. Your Note is more versatile in the fact that it's a little more durable. You can put a case on it, a little more durable. You got the S Pen. But it really just comes down to what you want to do. I'm not saying this is not durable, but it's the price factor. But this is expensive too. So it really just depends on what you want to use your phones for at this point. That's really what it comes down to. Is what do you want to use your phones for? So that was my long video. No, it's a long video, but just wanted to talk about all those different things and just give you my full reasoning on why I'm returning it. And essentially, it breaks down to this. It breaks down to the fact for my Fold, I can get 4 items, 4 expensive items, 4 quality items. I can get a Fold 1, a Galaxy Tab S Plus 256 model, the keyboard, and Galaxy Buds Live, and go have a meal for $14.68, all for the price of my Galaxy Fold 2 that I had already got discount on. And that's what it breaks down to. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. After this video, I will have a video coming up talking about what I like about the Fold 2, why I think it's a good phone, some ways you can use it. Not quite, I don't really do reviews, pros and cons of it, you know. And then we'll have a video talking about these two devices, the Duo and the Fold. I feel like these are 2 totally different devices as far as what you want to use it for. What you plan to use it for determines if you should go with the Duo or if you should go with this. I will say this, excellent hardware on here. Excellent hardware on here too. I'm not going to get into it. Different things, and I'll talk about that in a future video. So if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll have some more videos coming of these comparison of just this phone, the comparison of those two. And yeah, till next time. Later.